Like DeSantis, Nikki Haley supports a 23% national sales tax. Think about that. This is death. This is death for a candidate. The world doesn't know that. I thought I'd let you know before the election. Perhaps worst of all, Nikki Haley is backed by the deep state and the military-industrial complex because they know she is a globalist and really a globalist fool who they can easily manipulate into sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Think of this. We have sent over $200 billion to Ukraine, and Europe, our European friends, when you combine them, it's about the same size the economy as the United States. They've spent barely $20 billion, so we're at $200 billion. I think they should make up the difference. Don't you think they should at least equalize? I did that with NATO. We were paying and they weren't. We're defending them and we're paying the bills. And I said, nope, they asked me, does this mean that if Russia attacks us, you will not defend us? I said, are you paid up? Well, let's say we're not. Then I'm not defending you. And the money came pouring in. The money came pouring in. So our borders remain wide open. You know, we had the safest, best borders in history 3 years ago. Now we have the worst borders anywhere in the world. I don't believe there's ever been borders like this. In short, if you want a losing candidate who puts America last, vote for either one of them, Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis. You know, the other day, I think it was NBC, their interview, a straight interview, but they can't do a straight. NBC's one of the worst, but they can't. But it was sort of straight. They said, ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to have this opportunity to talk to Governor Ron DeSantis. And he said, no, it's DeSantis. That's good branding. When you can get it so they can't even get his name right. And that's just the abbreviation of DeSanctimonious, right? But if you want a president, and I think he's going to be out pretty quick based on what I'm hearing. Based on what I'm looking at, you don't have to hear it. You have to look at things go polls. And she's going to be out pretty quick, too. But if you want a person that puts America first, there's only one person that you can vote for, and that's Donald J. Trump. And you saw that for 4 years. We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. On day one of my new administration, I will seal the border and I will shut down the invasion of millions of people that are coming through into our country. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in U.S. history. We built 561 miles, far more than I said we were going to be able to build. And this is after fighting Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, and the Democrats. Sometimes you wonder who was worse. You know what I did? I took it out of the military. I said, listen, this is an invasion. I'm taking it out of the military because with Congress, it's like, unless you're a Democrat, they suck a lot of money out of Republicans that vote wrong. We got to be very, very careful with that. Very, very careful. But I took it right out of the military. We built it, and we built like nobody's ever. You know the wall, the way it looks, right? That's exactly what they wanted. Border Patrol. Brandon Judd, phenomenal person. You take a look at, do you ever hear of Tom Homan? Is he Central Casting? He said, President Trump, both of them, everybody said it, the greatest president in history for the border. We had that thing so good. All Biden had to do is stay on the beach, just stay on the beach. But he broke it all up. But we built the border wall. We got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. Thank you very much, Mexico. I love the president. He's a great guy. But he wasn't exactly happy about that. He was not happy about that. Under Biden, the USA has been turned into a dumping ground for the entire world. Now, you know, I see signs flashing back there, and it sort of depends if you want it. It's a Saturday night. Do you want this to be the long version or the short version? Do you want to hear the snake? Because it's very... Do you want to hear? All right. Sadly, this is emblematic of what's going on in our country. At the border, this was an old song that I revised a lot for purposes of saving our country, frankly. And it has to do with the border. Think of it as the border. Think of it as the people that we're letting in because they're coming in from jails and prisons. They're coming in from mental institutions, insane asylums. They're emptying out into the United States. We're like a dumping ground. Terrorists are coming into our country. And I think this is very emblematic of what's happening. Sad. Sad. People love it, but it's sad. But it gives you what is going on. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," cried the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had just survived. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," cried the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you, ma'am," the snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." Right? That's what's happening on our border. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. We're taking in people that shouldn't be in our country. This is a problem, and we will be doing a lot of things, but isn't it true? We're bringing them in from mental institutions, prisons. Terrorists are pouring into our country. You know, in 2019, I saw on one of the shows, this was true news. In 2019, they had no terrorists reported at all coming in because we had a anti-terror clause, and it was actually upheld in the United States Supreme Court. We have 3 great new justices, and we have some very good justices on the court. I hope the Republican justices are willing to do things right. You know, a Democrat put in, let's say, by Obama or Biden, they're down and dirty. They'll just say, nope, I'm voting the way that guy wants. A Republican, they want to show that they can't be bought, that the fact that you put them there and made their lives, took them from someplace where they were doing quite well. But you know what? They want to go out of their way to be politically correct. This country has to do things right. They cannot worry about political correctness anymore. They can't do it. They have to do things right. So you have some votes coming up. The Colorado decision where, as you know, although I would say almost unanimous, even radical left, crazy Democrats, you say you can't take the vote away from the people. And in this case, we're leading everywhere. We're leading with the Republicans. We're leading with Democrats. We're beating Biden by a lot. And if Biden gets in, you know, they want to substantially expand the Supreme Court, which would be a terrible thing. But you have to understand, we have to get down to business, or we're not going to have a country left.